Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Adams Rite number 1000-11-13. This is it's a turn. It's a thumb turn is really what it is. This is going to be used on their sliding door locks, their MS 1847 series lock, or the 1847 series lock would be appropriate for this. You'll find these little thumb turns on boats, on sliding doors and boat applications, residential applications. And there are just, some variants of this. This is basically the thumb turn. It's available with or without the escutcheon. It's available in different colors. It's available in different length spindles. And it's available in different orientations, either parallel drive or perpendicular drive. That tailpiece will either be vertical or horizontal, depending on how you order it and what your requirements are. And that's really governed, whether the tailpiece is this way or this way, is governed by where the lock hub is in the lock body, here, etc., and where the thumb turn is to be when you're in the locked or unlocked position. You want to make sure that when you slide the door closed and you go to lock it, you don't throw the thumb turn into the jam, not being able to throw it all the way. So that all needs to be coordinated. And it's all buried actually in the part number. The 1000-11-13 tells us actually all of that. So we will dissect how we get to the unit that you will want. But first, overall height, about 1.75 inches, just heavy on that. Overall width of the escutcheon, about 5/8. Overall projection, from the face of the door to the back of the turn, looks like it's about 9/16. Okay, this is in the 130 finish. It's just aluminum, an aluminum type color. The length of the spindle was directly related to the client's application. How thick the door is the bottom line. Actually, the client is replacing his, and he measured his and gave me that dimension, which we then, translated into what the client required. Okay. I believe actually this client he did not give me the length. He gave me only his door thickness is actually what the client gave me. So I think the thing to do now is to move to just looking at the supporting extended description information on screen. And let's go ahead and do so now. We'll talk about the configurable options for this and help you determine which one you need. Okay, here is the item that we are looking at. Now let's scroll down and let's take a little deeper look at the extended description. And here we go. So there's a lot to unpack here, but let's not get too intimidated by it. Function. This is a 1000-11 and 1000-12. Have a rectangular escutcheon for mounting directly on the door. Why two part numbers? Well, I know that it refers to the parallel or perpendicular drive. It's a fancy way of saying what that tailpiece looks like when it's coming out of the back of the unit. Now, the 13 in the part number means 43/64 of an inch. And we're going to look at that when we get over here as well. Okay. Zinc alloy in a 130 finish. That's just a sprayed aluminum. For the thumb turn, the escutcheon itself is made of stainless steel. Looks like it's just wrought. Spindles, hardened steel plated for corrosion resistance. First dash number and how to order guide indicates spindle, whether or not it's parallel or perpendicular to turn level. Second dash number is the L dimension, which is the spindle length. Cylinder must have MS dimensioned cam. I don't believe that belongs here at all. I don't think that applies. Standard package. Dash 21 and dash 11 are assembled with escutcheon, inside turn, spindle, washer, and push nut. What they're saying is this thing is ready to go. All the different parts, the thumb turn, the escutcheon, the spindle itself, the washer that's there, along with the push nut, are already assembled. You can get these in black, dark bronze, silver painted. options. The availability of both perpendicular or parallel drives in these turns, coupled with the 3 hub drive positions of the MS 1847, provides several options. That's what I was talking about earlier, of knowing where you want to be when you are in the locked or unlocked position. We'll talk about that in a second. Choice of turn drive positions relates directly to the particular lock hub drive position. So depending on where that spindle is, and how you determine parallel or perpendicular drive, will get you what you need. And what I'm driving at there is, imagine if you have a sliding door and you have a frame. Great, as long as your spindle works this way or works this way, it doesn't really matter. Well, you can see that you might have an application of a frame installation where you're like this. Okay, now you're over here. You really can't go that way at all. You don't have any room. So that's what they're talking about. You want to be sure, of what you've got going there. It's your lock body. Okay. It's easy once we dissect it. So let's dissect it. Data sheet over on the right side now. This is the cut sheet. We've basically talked about all of this stuff already. And this is going to help you determine what position, whether or not you're perpendicular or parallel drive. All of these hooks are extended, which means the solid line is what you're going to look like in that orientation. And the dotted line is what you're going to look like in the unlocked orientation. Okay? So if you're replacing existing, you'll have to study what your existing configuration is. Then you're going to know if you're perpendicular or parallel. Pretty easy stuff. Now, they can do the 1000 in an 11 or a 21 or an 01 or an 02. First of all, the 11 and 21 have the escutcheon. The 01 and 02 are without the escutcheon. They're just going to be like this. No escutcheon. That's easy. I don't often sell them without escutcheons, that's to be sure. Although I have, but with an escutcheon is generally how you see those. So you now know that you're dealing with a 1000. Now, moving into the next part of the part number, we have the it's referred to as the L dimension, or the length. And there's a handy table here that we can review. And now the L dimension is a little tricky in the sense that it includes the thickness of the escutcheon. Okay, so when the client gave me his door thickness, I needed to allow for the escutcheon thickness of 5/32 to know exactly what the L length would be. And what it really boils down to is, and there are two of these thumb turns back to back actually, the door thickness, you're going to need to subtract that dimension. So let's say door thickness divided by 2. Let's say door thickness minus a 1/16 of an inch divided by 2 would give you that dimension from here to here. But then you're going to have to add the thickness in that scenario to get the L dimension to make sure that it's correct. Okay, so just be mindful. They call it spindle length, but that's measured to the top of the escutcheon. Here are all the sizes that are available. So a 13 is a rather short version of it. Here is the 01 or 02 model. No escutcheon, just the turn, the spindle, the washer, and then the push nut. I think that's called a Timon nut as well. And then here's how you configure it, and then your finish at the very end. So pretty simple and straightforward. And as we had said earlier, 3 finishes here. Black, dark bronze, and then a silver, you know, to match clear anodized aluminum. It's clearly powder coated over probably zinc. I think they set it up here. Anyway, so that is the option. Now this mysterious MS-1847, you've got these codes after it. That defines the positioning of the hub. Just if you were like, well, I want a lock body too, there's different MS-1847s, okay? There's also a slam style as well, where you can just have, the latch is always projected, and as you simply slide and push the door closed, it will re-latch. So there's no manually latching it, which you may want in a particular application. I could see it being on a boat, provided there were 2 locks on the door. You might just want to slide the door closed so that you know it's latched, and then have a traditional 4130 or 4190 series Adams Rite lock installed, so that you have to manually, with a key, lock it, meaning you wouldn't ever be able to lock yourself out, because in the slide lock, or the slam lock, you would have thumb turns on either side. Anyway, so we've covered that document pretty well. Installation guide, you know, just talks about if you're doing a new installation, where to drill those holes off of the center line. And that center line is going to be referenced to the MS-1847 lock body. MS-1847. Okay, so there are some dimensions there. So, let's see what we have. We've got a 45-degree orientation of the spindle when it's locked. Very likely an MS-1847-11. Okay, very likely that would be your lock body. But anyway, the point I'm driving in is that those 2 holes that you mount would be referenced off of that dimension. The next document, how to order, same information that we've already discussed. A consolidated, easier format, in my opinion. It's always going to be a 1000. You'll have 4 options here. You'll have a couple of dozen options here, 3 options here. Okay. Now, below this video here is a link to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Adams Rite products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. You can pull that document up. And I had mentioned the 4190 and the 4430. These are sliding door locks. 4190 has a cylinder on the outside. 4430 is the same type of lock, except the 4430 has plastic plates, injection molded, and the 4190 has zinc die-cast plates. So if your plates are metal, it would be a 4190 if there's a cylinder on the outside. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, in conclusion, what I find to be most helpful for clients is just give us a call. We'll be happy to walk you through it. We're familiar with the product line. We're familiar with the manufacturer. We're familiar with how the part numbers go together. And, you know, if you feel like you are not ordering the right part number, certainly reach out to us. It's not difficult at all, but some people don't, you know, like I tell people, I don't do my own taxes. Not that I don't think I can't. I just It's not what I do. So let us help you if hardware is not what you do, is what I'm driving at. If you have any questions on the Adams Rite 1000-11-13 and a 130 finish, or any other Adams Rite product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.